going back, I don't always say, I always say that my heritage is African, my heritage is Jamaican, but I'm British born.
Okay.
So I always have to give props back to where I originally came from. So,
Okay. So you're saying that your forefather, your parents are around from Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how our people got to Jamaica?
Yeah. Well, I've got my own interpretations. You
Okay.
probably have yours. You probably have yours, and I'll
Okay.
respect each and every one of you. Is how we actually got to
to
the Caribbean
the
or
Caribbean and
yeah.
Jamaica. Okay. So what's how do you think we got to the Caribbeans and Jamaica then?
Well, we didn't go there because we wanted to go there.
So it was by force.
I would say it was by force.
Okay. All right then. Cool. So what I'm trying to bring out to you today, sister, like the word Jamaica, you're not going to find that anywhere in the Bible.
No.
That basically means the land of like wood and water,
Yeah.
Jamaica. So according to God, He called us something else. So He didn't call us Jamaica. So what I'm trying to bring out and show you here is what God called us according to the Bible, sister. So I'm going to bring out. Give me Deuteronomy 1 and verse 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1.
Wait till that bus gets past. Sister's got it.
Wait to the point.
Yeah.
You're walking up this way, sister. Come walk up a bit with them. Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1.
Right, read that.
These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So in the book of Deuteronomy, you're familiar with Moses?
Yeah.
You've heard of Moses
Yeah.
before, right? So in the book of Deuteronomy, Moses is speaking to the Israelites. Now, go to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So Moses is telling the Israelites in Deuteronomy, they don't listen to God's commandments, a set of curses are going to come upon the Israelites. Now go to give me verse 46.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So these curses are going to be on us for a sign. Now what would you say a sign is, sister? What would you say, like, describe a sign as?
Well, I would say it's something that's telling us, or it's a forewarning, or it's a pre-warning, or it's something that's telling us to be prepared. So
Yeah,
it could be anything. You know,
Okay,
like I said, it's a sign the weather's not going to be good today. That's a sign. How do you prepare
Yeah.
yourself for?
Oh, I see where you're getting at.
Yeah.
Just like when we look at like these different types of shops, we wouldn't know that Pepe's Peri Peri, wouldn't know it's that shop without the sign,
Well,
like a set of
yeah,
instructions.
yeah.
So these curses are going to be upon a sign upon our seed forever. So I'm going to go through some of these curses, and we're going to look back in history and see which nation of people did these curses happen to. Because Moses is speaking to one nation, which are the Israelites. Now give me 48. Let's read.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
So Moses told the Israelites, hunger, thirst, and nakedness, 3 important things. So anytime we're hungry, we're thirsty, we gotta go to the other nations for these things. Like if we want to go KFC, McDonald's, you know, even the clothing on our back, it would probably like say made in China. So us as a nation of people, we don't own any businesses, so we gotta go to the other nations for that. Keep reading, there's more on that.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
So Moses also said, we're going to have a yoke of iron upon our neck until we're destroyed. Now I've typed yoke of iron in on Google, and we're going to see exactly who comes up. Yoke of iron. So us as a nation of people, those like dog leashes that we had on our neck to brainwash us. So that's one of the curses Moses is telling the Israelites that's going to happen to our ancestors if we didn't obey the commandments. Let's go for a few more. Give me verse 16.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
So it said, cursed shall they be in the city, and cursed shall they be in the field. Now, as a nation of people, we live in like the bottom of society. We live in like the ghettos, the slums. We live in a lower state, and it's a curse shall they be in the field. Now, when you go back and you look back into history, it was like picking cotton and those things in the field. So only though these curses has to apply to one nation of people, and that's why I've only read 2 curses. Give me 54.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
So it said, the man that is tender and delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother. That goes into a lot of black and black crime. Because as a nation of people, we will mug another brother, and then we'll start beef and drama. Keep reading.
And toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, Which ye shall leave.
Which ye shall what?
Which ye shall leave.
Which ye shall leave. So who's known for leaving their kids? The so-called black man. Because that's the name that they've put on us, because we're known for leaving our kids. And that's a curse from God in the Bible. Now let's go get verse 68.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Now the word Egypt is actually a Greek word which means slavery or bondage. But I'm going to prove it to you, not out of my words, out of the Bible's words. Give me Exodus 20 and 2.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Out of the house of bondage. So when you see the word Egypt, it means slavery or bondage. So we're going to go back to 28 and verse 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt
into
again.
Slavery again.
With ships.
No on a plane.
With ships.
With ships. How did we get to the Caribbeans and Jamaica? Cargo slave ships. And this is documented in the Bible. Keep reading.
By the way, whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Meaning we won't see our homeland again. That's why we're dwelling in all these different places, because we've been scattered to the four corners of the earth. Keep reading.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Unto your friends.
Unto your enemies.
Unto our enemies. Keep reading.
For bondmen.
For slave men.
And bondwomen.
And slave women.
And no man shall buy you.
And no man shall redeem us. So these curses I've just showed you, Moses prophesied over thousands of years ago that will happen to the Israelites. So who are we according to the Bible, sister? Israelites.
That's right.
Right. Have you got any questions, sister, before I carry on?
Because I've got my daughter reading me. So what is your denomination, and which church do you belong to? Because you're very, like I said, spiritual and which is what I normally connect to.
Yeah,
and like I said, I do have I'm teaching my children where how important their heritage is, and that's why I always say that my heritage is my parents is from, and this is where, because this is where I am born from, but I'm from Jamaican. My parents are Jamaican, Caribbean, and originally it's always back to my African heritage. Where I'm going to spend time, I'm spending time to look at where I'm from. I know it's from the west coast of Africa, but where, how, and where it's taken from. I've gone, like I said, to Liverpool, the Slave Museum, and I've spent hours up there. So I've started my journey, because like I said, I know this is my journey, which I now need. I'm responsible to hand that over to my children, and for them to hand it over to their children as well. So, which church you go to, or
we're just congregating in houses at the moment.
Right.
So we are a church right now. So the typical, the actual definition of the church according to the Bible is just a gathering of men.
That's what I'm saying.
People.
We say church because, like I said, we automatically assume that it has to be a place of worship.
Right,
But the place of worship doesn't have to be with a cross or like that.
That's right.
It can be like that. It can be, like you said, in houses. So.
And I remember you said a denomination too. We're not a denomination.
And again, not being disrespectful, but again, you come out and say, which denomination do you belong to? Because again, you've got when you start using again the words to teach and to encourage and motivate, people automatically think that you belong to a denomination, either be Jehovah's Witnesses, be Judaism, be Rastafarianism, Buddhism.
None of that's in the Bible.
Yeah, exactly. No, none of that is in the. That's what I'm saying. But I still will have to ask the question, because, like, again, I have not so much preferences, but I have understanding and not so much, again, not negativity, because again it's like it's my own interpretation. So that's why I say, well, which I'm for going in, because that's what it does. You go into places of worship that, and like I said, it doesn't have to be defined by what we see as churches. So
understand, sister.
A lot of the problem we have in society today is people try and interpret the Bible when the Bible can't interpret.
You can't interpret it. Sorry.
2 Peter 1 and verse 20.
Hello. I'm just outside. Alright, I'll come round to you. Please, well, walk up to me. Alright. Okay, bye.
Sorry. 2 Peter 1 and verse 20. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. So when you get in all denominations and Rastafarians and Jehovah's Witnesses and that, that's not of the Most High.
No.
Because there's only the scriptures to go to, you understand?
And that's why, I tend to go to the scriptures rather than to man-made rules, because like I said, every denomination has its own interpretation of this.
Of the scriptures.
And if it doesn't fit me, then how can I belong to
like Jehovah's Witnesses or anything like that?
Yeah, because like I said, so I always go to the Bible for my understanding and my own interpretation. There's times when I don't even go to my mum for her to interpret to me, because her interpretation is completely different to how I would read it. So we could read the same page in exactly the same way, but have different interpretations. So it's got to be right with me, and it has to be right with yourselves as well.
This is where a lot of people go off as well, because you can read a scripture and get something off it, but you haven't got nothing to back up that scripture means what it says. You understand? So this is why the scripture says the Bible, precept upon precept.
Oh, precept upon precept.
This is why the scripture says you have to read it in a certain way.
Yeah.
Get that.
2 seconds.
Because there's a lot of confusion amongst what this Bible actually is, what it's saying and stuff like that. What do we do with the Bible? The Bible's been given to a specific group of people as a message, you understand, to keep the law, statutes and commandments or die, really, and that's it. The Bible ain't for nobody else. It's only for the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Read that.
Alright, Isaiah 28 and verse 10. Actually, shall start at 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them.
So who's going to understand this book? Read.
Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. Verse 10. For precept must be upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little and there a little.
That's why he said, you know who's weaned off the milk and understand these scriptures, because every question you're going to have for us, we're going to answer it according to a scripture in the Bible, you understand? We're going to be able to back up what we're saying. So we're out here just to show you, sister, you're an Israelite, and I'm assuming you know this already, innit? 10 and verse 12, then, brother.
10 and verse 12.
We don't want to take